Hey, it's Jeremy. I'm back. I am on a 30-day challenge to do a YouTube video every day for 30 days. And then after that, we'll see what happens. I might extend it, I might not. But the point of this is to go along this YouTube journey and see if I can figure out what's causing things to go, up, subscribers to go up, view count to go up. How can I deliver something that's valuable to somebody else? That's kind of my goal. So, if you have similar goals or would like to just follow along with this channel, then I invite you to do so. Building a community would be awesome, where we have people that are connected to each other. So, if you comment to me, I'll comment back, and maybe we can start to develop some sort of community thing going here. Um, I was looking at a lot of, I look at a lot of videos and I look at a lot of short, small YouTuber channels, and I try to comment on a lot of them because, if they, especially if they relate or, there's something that I found value in, I like to let those people know. And as I'm on this journey, the more that I can do that with these small creators, I think the better off everybody's going to be. The better off we're going to learn from each other. If we're all in the same boat together, we're going to learn from each other. It's a fun journey, a fun challenge, and yes, you may be at the point where, hey, you haven't even started a YouTube channel yet, but you're curious about it, and so you're watching some of the small channels. I don't know, some of the channels to see what people are doing. The point of my channel is to kind of build it as I go and see what works and see what doesn't, and just improve all the time. So I'm building this channel up, and you know I'm getting a little bit discouraged, to be honest, because when I see other people, and I'm only 20 days in, but I see other comments on people's channels that they're at 30 days and they're at 100 subscribers or something like that, and I'm at like 4 subscribers, I think, last time I looked. I had 5 and then somebody unsubscribed, so went back down to 4. I'm so sad. So um, so one thing that I would like to do is build like a community and try to get others involved, and try to, maybe if we could support each other along the journey here. I've been looking into. I was watching a channel. I think Media had they had an interview, and there was a guy on it. I can't remember his name now, but he wrote a book called uh, Story Brand, I think is what it was called. And so I got the book because I thought the interview was amazing. I'd never seen the guy or heard of the guy before. I think I had seen his book before, but I never read it. So I got it. I got this last night, and I'm almost halfway through it. Well, I think I'm more than halfway through it at this point. But it's really good, and it's talking about building your own story brand for. I think it mainly focuses on business, but I think a lot of the stuff you can apply to your YouTube channel too, because the YouTube channel has a lot of business aspects to it. But going, I really highly recommend that book. It's really good. I didn't want to put it down. It's to the point where um, I might read it again, and I'm the type of person that when I pick up a book, I start to read it, and then like third chapter, fourth chapter, I kind of fall off, and I put the book on the shelf and don't go back to it again. And then I find a new book that intrigues me. But this one I haven't put down yet, so I'm kind of surprised, and I actually want to read it again because he had so many good um, points and so many good things to say in this book, at least so far. So I highly recommend the book if you haven't read it. It's a it's a real good book about building the customer as the hero. Um, so I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and where we are as YouTubers, and what we're trying to do as YouTubers, because I think a lot of different people start. Everybody's got their own reasons for starting a YouTube channel, or wanting to. At least I wanted to for a long time. The reason I winded up starting one was mainly for building a personal brand. I think that's really important in in this in this era that we're in, this age that we're in now, where technology is where it's at. I think there's a huge shift in, especially like business. If you have a business and you're trying to survive as a business, the economy's not getting any better. The way to stand out, in my opinion, and what's going on in the future is through social media. And I like YouTube personally because of a lot of reasons, but mainly because you can see and connect with somebody on a more intimate level than you can just through text or reading, posts or whatever. Um, I think Instagram would probably be maybe second, but you can, as a business, especially like a local business, I think you can get, I think you can position yourself a lot better if you are on social media, especially YouTube. And I think in the future, if you're not on YouTube or some kind of social media, it's gonna be hard to compete. I think, and it's gonna be to the point where you don't really trust anybody that isn't established already. So taking that business side back to your not your local business, but your personal brand, you know, building a personal brand, whether you have a business or not, it can actually start a business for you. So you could create a personal brand and, you know, people could start offering you or suggesting that, they would pay for services from you, especially if you're doing stuff like, if you're a web designer and you're just doing it for fun, the social media side, people would use that to contact you and, get you to build them a website. So that's one side of it. The other side is if you aren't interested in building a brand, maybe it could help you in your career development, because you can show your talents through YouTube. You can show what you're good at. If you're good at writing code or something, you can show applications that you've written and, um, you know, kind of use YouTube as a catalyst to get jobs, and maybe people would seek you out. You could use it in conjunction with LinkedIn or something like that, where you could share posts about projects that you've worked on in your personal life that would help. Or maybe you're into networking and you show how to connect a router to another router or something like that using the command line interface or whatever. I'm speaking kind of IT because that's what I know, but um, I think just building a personal brand itself it can have so many benefits that um, that we haven't taken advantage of yet. I'm in the era, the generation that we didn't have this when I was growing up, so it's not familiar to me as it is to somebody that's young and this is kind of normal. You go to school and all your friends are on YouTube or your friends are on all the social media. We didn't have that when I was a kid, so getting used to that now is, I think it's not only, it's not just something you should do. It's going to be to the point where you have to do it, I think, to make a name for yourself. But I think the benefits far outweigh, the downsides of it, because what are the downsides of it? I guess you could ruin your reputation if you don't do it the right way. You could make a bad reputation, and that definitely wouldn't help you. Or you could just waste your time and nobody ever sees it, nobody ever follows it or whatever. Like if you don't have something, that people want to watch, I guess, you could lose some reputation, or you could basically just waste your time doing it. So I guess those are the downsides of it. But I think overall, it's the risk versus reward is very low, I think, and it may be something that takes a while to do. Maybe something that it could take years. There was There was a guy, he does AI videos, and I don't know his name, but he's got a YouTube channel that's very successful now. But before this AI revolution and ChatGPT and all that, he had been on YouTube for like 10 or 15 years before he made it big. He only had like 1,000 subscribers after 10 years, but he kept doing it. And then once AI came out, it was just a passion that he had, and he kept going with it and finally made it big. So, it's a long-term game. Sometimes it comes quicker for others. You hear all the stories about somebody making it in like 30 days. They have, they've monetized or whatever in 30 days, which I think is crazy. But sometimes I think that the normal average is like a year and a half or 2 years, something like that, to monetize. But anyway, you have to look at it that way too. You can't look at it like, oh, I'm just gonna do something real quick and it's gonna be big and I'm gonna be this. I mean, you have to be realistic, obviously. So, anyways, that's what the thoughts that I had on it today. If you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you next time.